Have you ever stopped to think that there's a voice inside you that knows exactly the path to prosperity, but that's often drowned out by fear, haste, and everyday worries? How many times have you tried to attract money, prayed, worked hard, done everything in your power, and still felt like you were swimming against the current? What if I told you that the real secret isn't chasing money, but aligning your soul so that it itself leads you to abundance? Imagine for a moment that within you lies a spiritual compass, a silent force that already knows all the shortcuts, all the doors, all the opportunities that can transform your financial life. But this compass doesn't speak the language of the external world. It speaks the language of the soul. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How to connect with your essence, how to awaken this inner voice, and how to allow it to be your partner, your guide, and your greatest ally on your journey to wealth. If you've ever felt blocked, trapped in cycles of debt, fatigue, and frustration, this video is for you. Because here, you'll learn not only to change your thoughts, but also to speak to your soul. And when that happens, financial miracles begin to happen in ways you never imagined. So take advantage of this moment and subscribe to the channel, because by subscribing, you declare to the universe that you're ready to receive more abundance. Like this video, share it with anyone who needs this message, and get ready, because your financial life can change starting today. The soul's call to prosperity. The first thing you need to understand is that money isn't just numbers, coins, or paper. Money is energy in motion, and like all energy, it responds to the vibrational state of your soul. When you feel scarce, guilty, anxious, or unworthy, your soul sends blocking signals, as if closing the doors to prosperity. But when you enter a state of peace, trust, and worthiness, your soul opens invisible pathways for money to flow to you. Think of a river. When the banks are obstructed by rocks and branches, the water becomes dammed. But when you clear the bed, the current flows naturally again. The same is true for your financial life. Talking to your soul is like removing stones from the path. But how do you do this in practice? It's simple. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day for an internal dialogue. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and silently ask, "Soul, what do you want to show me today about money?" Don't expect an immediate response like an audible voice. Often the answer comes as a feeling, a memory, an unexpected idea, or even a sign during your day. Trust these little whispers. They are the language of your soul. And to strengthen this dialogue, repeat powerful affirmations. I am guided by my soul toward prosperity. I am worthy of abundance. Money flows to me in unexpected and constant ways. The more you affirm, the more your soul finds ways to materialize this truth. In the midst of this journey, I want to ask you, have you ever felt like something inside you was telling you to follow a different path, but you ignored it and later realized it would have been the right choice? Write in the comments, because sharing these experiences helps strengthen the power of this community, the silence that speaks. When you learn to speak to your soul about money, silence becomes one of your most powerful tools. In a world full of noise, notifications, and demands, it is in this silence that your soul can finally manifest. Have you ever noticed how the best ideas come to you in the shower, before bed, or right after waking up? These moments of stillness are no coincidence. They are open doors for your soul to speak to you without interference. It is in this space that it breathes intuitions, inspirations, and answers that can transform your financial life. But most people ignore this call, thinking it's just imagination or coincidence. And here's the key. Your imagination is the language of the soul. It's through it that you access abundance before it even manifests. Therefore, practice intentional silence daily. Sit for 5 minutes, breathe, and ask, "Soul, how can I attract more prosperity today?" Just wait. You may feel an urge to call someone, review a project, or even rest. Follow these guidelines with confidence because your soul will never lead you astray. Of course, there will be times when your rational mind will doubt. It will say, "This doesn't make sense," or "It's too risky." But remember, your logical mind sees only what already exists, while your soul sees what's yet to come. This is the difference between living in scarcity and opening yourself to abundance. It's like planting a seed. The mind sees only dry land, but the soul already sees the leafy tree that will grow from it. If you can surrender to this vision, money will begin to flow in unexpected ways. People will appear, opportunities will present themselves, previously closed doors will open. Not because you struggled, but because you trusted the most faithful guide you've ever had, your soul, the river of abundance. Abundance isn't something you need to build from scratch. It already exists, flowing like an invisible river beside you. What the soul does is simply guide you to the right banks so you can effortlessly drink from that water. The problem is that we often insist on digging wells in the desert, believing we need to struggle to find resources. Meanwhile, the soul whispers, "Stop digging, just walk with me to the river." When you insist on acting solely by logic, you end up tired, exhausted, and still thirsty. But when you surrender to the soul's guidance, you discover that the river has always been there, waiting for you to approach it. This river represents the ideas, opportunities, and even the people the universe places in your path. It's a stream that never dries up because its source is spiritual, not material. Now imagine yourself standing before this river. See the crystal clear golden water flowing endlessly. Come closer, cup your hands, and drink. Feel this abundance flowing through you, bringing vitality, confidence, and clarity. Realize that there's no rush. The river won't end. It will be there tomorrow, the day after, and every day of your life. This is the truth your soul wants you to understand. Abundance is continuous. Money doesn't have to be a desperate effort, but a natural consequence of being connected to the right flow. To reinforce this connection, repeat over and over, "I walk to the river of abundance. My soul guides me, and I trust in this eternal flow." With each repetition, you will feel lighter, because scarcity is heavy, but abundance is as light as water that flows endlessly. The spiritual agreement with abundance. Every time you talk to your soul about money, you are making a spiritual agreement. It's not an external pact, not a bargain with something outside of you, but an intimate commitment to choose to vibrate in abundance rather than scarcity. And this agreement is renewed every day, in every thought, in every emotion, in every decision. When you think about lack, debt, or fear, you break this agreement. But when you decide to believe, even in the face of the most difficult scenario, you strengthen the alliance with your own soul. Many people believe that to attract prosperity, they simply need to repeat phrases as if they were magic. But that's not how it works. Affirmations aren't commands to the universe. They're reminders to your soul. When you say, "I am prosperous," you are reminding your essence of what it already knows, that you were born to be abundant. The true magic isn't in the words, but in the vibration they awaken within you. So, try creating a small ritual. Every morning when you wake up, place your hand over your heart, close your eyes and say, "Soul, today I choose to walk with you toward abundance. Guide me, inspire me, show me the opportunities I can't see with my physical eyes." This simple practice transforms your day. It's like tuning a radio station. If you leave the radio on the wrong channel, you only hear noise. But when you turn the knob to the right frequency, the music flows clearly. Your soul is that frequency. When you listen to it, money begins to arrive in surprising ways. It could be a business idea, an unexpected invitation, even a forgiven debt, or a gift that appears without warning. This is how life responds when you open yourself to the spiritual agreement with abundance. And remember, it doesn't matter how much you've lost, how much time you think you've wasted, or how many times you've failed. Your soul doesn't count the past. It only sees the present. And the present is enough to rewrite your entire financial history. Visualizing the golden light. Now that you understand that your soul is the guide to your prosperity, it's time to practice a powerful technique, visualizing the golden light. This practice is like opening a direct channel between you and abundance. Close your eyes for a few moments and imagine a warm, bright, golden light beginning to emerge in the center of your chest. This light is the energy of your soul, pure and infinite. See this light expanding, illuminating every cell of your body, dissolving fears, insecurities, and guilt. The more it grows, the more peace you feel. Now visualize this golden light emerging from within you and creating a luminous path before you. On this path, you see doors opening, opportunities arising, and people coming to help you. This is the language of your soul, showing you that abundance is not something distant, but something already here, ready to be received. Feel as if each breath is a confirmation. With each inhalation, you receive abundance. With each exhalation, you release blockages. Repeat in your mind, I am guided by the light of my soul. I am prosperous. I am worthy of the wealth that comes to me. The more you practice this visualization, the more naturally you will notice signs in the real world. Perhaps you'll find a creative solution to a financial problem, receive an unexpected call, or even discover a talent that can turn into a source of income. This is no coincidence. It's your soul materializing what you've already accepted internally. Now imagine yourself walking down this corridor of golden light. Each step growing more confident, each door that opens bringing new opportunities. This scene isn't just a mental exercise, it's spiritual programming that repositions you on the frequency of abundance. And if at any point you feel discouraged, return to this practice. Remember, your soul already knows the path. You just need to trust and follow it. The law of soul sowing. Just as a farmer doesn't reap the same day he plants, abundance also follows the cycle of sowing and harvesting. The difference is that, in the realm of the soul, seeds are thoughts, words, and emotions. Each time you speak to your soul about prosperity, you are planting a new seed in the invisible soil of your consciousness. And this soil is fertile. It doesn't reject anything you put there. If you sow fear, you reap obstacles. If you sow trust, you reap opportunities. If you sow gratitude, you reap multiplication. The harvest may not come in your mind's time, but it will always come in the soul's perfect time. Imagine for a moment that each thought you have is a drop of water falling on dry ground. At first, it seems to make no difference, but when the rain persists, the earth transforms, and previously invisible seeds begin to sprout. The same is true with money. You may not see immediate results, but when you insist on talking to your soul, giving thanks before receiving, and trusting even without visible proof, transformation is inevitable. And here's a simple practice. When you receive any amount, no matter how small, place your hands over it and say, "Thank you, soul, for this sign of abundance. I know more is coming." This gesture is like watering a seed. The universe understands that you recognize the little and therefore are ready for the big. In the midst of this journey, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever had the feeling that when you were grateful for something small, soon after, bigger things began to happen? Write in the comments, because this testimony can inspire others who still doubt the power of gratitude. And remember, the more you talk to your soul, the more fertile the soil of your life becomes. And when harvest time comes, you will see that all the effort, all the faith, and all the waiting were worth it. The invisible paths of the soul. The soul sees paths your eyes have never seen. When you talk to it about money, you're not just asking for bills or coins, but for it to reveal the invisible paths that lead to abundance. These paths are often illogical. They don't follow what the world considers normal. They can come as an unexpected invitation, a seemingly simple idea, or even a detour that seemed like a delay, but was actually the right route to your destination. Imagine you're walking in a forest. Your eyes can only see a few feet ahead, but your soul sees the entire path, all the way to the sunny clearing on the other side. When you trust, each step becomes lighter because you know you're not lost. The problem is that most people insist on walking only by what their eyes show them. They want immediate security, tangible proof, guarantees. But the soul works in the invisible. It's like the wind. You can't see it, but you feel it when it blows. And if you learn to sense your soul's signals, you'll discover that it's already blowing opportunities your way. A powerful exercise is to start your day by saying, "Soul, show me an invisible path to prosperity today." And then, pay attention. The signal may come in a conversation, a sudden memory, or even something that seems coincidental but is ultimately providence. Money always follows the energy of the open path. And when you learn to walk guided by your soul, you discover that nothing happens by chance. Every encounter, every situation, every apparent delay is part of the abundance plan your soul has already laid out for you. The doors of abundance. When you talk to your soul about money, something extraordinary happens. Doors begin to open. They're not physical doors, but opportunities that were previously invisible, as if a curtain were lifted from your eyes. The soul is the key that silently turns in the lock of life. Many believe that money can only come from a specific source, such as a current job or business. But the soul knows that there are countless doors, each leading to a new possibility. It can open the door to an unexpected partnership, a talent dormant within you, or even a seemingly chance encounter that changes your financial destiny. Imagine yourself in a long, dark hallway full of closed doors. You try to force some of them, but they won't budge. Suddenly your soul whispers, "This is the way." You turn the right handle, and as you open the door, light floods the hallway, revealing a room brimming with resources, ideas, and connections. This is the power of trusting your inner guide. This is why many people work hard, struggle, and wear themselves out, yet keep knocking on the wrong doors. Meanwhile, those who have learned to listen to their soul seem to thrive effortlessly because they don't waste energy trying to open closed doors. They simply follow the key that lies within them. Practice this daily. When you wake up, say, "Soul, open an unexpected door of prosperity for me today." Then go about your day, paying attention, because the answer may be swift. And when the door opens, don't hesitate to walk through it. Money flows naturally when you learn that life is full of hidden passages, and your soul knows them all. The river of abundance. Abundance isn't something you need to build from scratch. It already exists, flowing like an invisible river beside you. What the soul does is simply guide you to the right banks so you can effortlessly drink from that water. The problem is that we often insist on digging wells in the desert, believing we need to struggle to find resources. Meanwhile, the soul whispers, "Stop digging, just walk with me to the river." When you insist on acting solely by logic, you end up tired, exhausted, and still thirsty. But when you surrender to the soul's guidance, you discover that the river has always been there, waiting for you to approach it. This river represents the ideas, opportunities, and even the people the universe places in your path. It's a stream that never dries up because its source is spiritual, not material. Now imagine yourself standing before this river. See the crystal clear golden water flowing endlessly. Come closer, cup your hands and drink. Feel this abundance flowing through you, bringing vitality, confidence, and clarity. Realize that there's no rush. The river won't end. It will be there tomorrow, the day after, and every day of your life. This is the truth your soul wants you to understand. Abundance is continuous. Money doesn't have to be a desperate effort, but a natural consequence of being connected to the right flow. To reinforce this connection, repeat over and over, I walk to the river of abundance. My soul guides me, and I trust in this eternal flow. With each repetition, you will feel lighter because scarcity is heavy, but abundance is as light as water that flows endlessly. Deserving and surrendering. One of the biggest blocks that prevent money from flowing isn't external, but internal, the feeling of undeserving. How many times have you received something and immediately thought, do I deserve this? Or will I lose it soon? This thought is like a leaky bucket. No matter how much the universe pours on you, it all flows away. The soul, however, doesn't know the language of guilt. It only understands deserving. To it, you are already worthy, no matter your past, no matter how many times you've made mistakes. When you talk to your soul about money, it's as if it's saying, I accept what is already mine by divine right. And in that instant, a key flips within you. Deserving isn't arrogance, it's acceptance. It's understanding that abundance is your natural state. Just as the sun doesn't apologize for shining, you don't need to apologize for prospering. But beyond deserving, you need to surrender. Surrendering means trusting that your soul knows the way better than your mind. It means stopping fighting your circumstances and starting to flow with them. Think of a boat on a river. When you fight against the current, you waste energy and don't move forward. But when you let go of the oars and let the water guide you, you discover that the river always carries you forward. The same is true with abundance. When you surrender your anxiety, your haste, and your fear to your soul, you discover that it guides you gently, and money begins to come unexpectedly without excessive effort. Try saying right now, I deserve to prosper. I deserve to live in abundance. I surrender my path to my soul and trust the direction it gives me. The more you repeat, the more the universe confirms it, because your vibration changes, your energy opens, and doors begin to unlock before you. Soul-guided transformation. When you talk to your soul about money, you're not just asking for financial resources, you're allowing it to transform your entire outlook on life. True abundance isn't just about having, but about being. It's about feeling peace even before your bank account fills, trusting even before opportunity arrives, positioning yourself as prosperous before the outside world confirms it. This is the point at which your soul begins to work miracles. Think of a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. During the process, it seems like darkness inside the cocoon, but behind, the invisible, the greatest transformation is taking place. The same happens with you when you surrender your financial life to your soul. Perhaps right now you feel like you're stuck in a cocoon, debts, limitations, fears, but the soul sees the butterfly ready to fly with strong, colorful wings toward a sky of infinite possibilities. And herein lies the secret. Transformation doesn't depend on what you do outside, but on what you accept inside. When you accept your worth, when you trust that you are already prosperous, when you release the struggle and speak to your soul, changes begin to happen from the inside out. The world merely reflects what you have already become. With each thought of trust, a new opportunity is attracted. With each word of gratitude, more resources are brought to the surface. With each act of generosity, the flow multiplies. This is why some people seem to radiate wealth even without displaying anything material yet, because their soul already vibrates at that frequency, and the world is simply adjusting to match. If you open yourself to this transformation, you will see that you are not just attracting money, you are attracting a new life. A life where abundance and peace go hand in hand, and where every step is guided by the wisest voice you have ever known, your own soul. the soul's final voice. Now that you've traveled this journey, it's time to understand the most profound lesson. Your soul has never been against you. On the contrary, it has always been trying to guide you to abundance. What often held you back were not external circumstances, but the internal noises that drowned out its voice. Fear, doubt, and guilt are like passing clouds. The soul is like the sun. Even when we can't see it, it continues to shine. Talking to your soul about money is above all an act of reconnection. It's returning to your natural state of trust, where you understand that you are not alone, that there is a force within you capable of attracting all the opportunities you need. And when you trust this force, the impossible begins to become possible. Always remember, money is just a reflection, but the true source is your soul. If you keep your essence aligned with abundance, nothing and no one can interrupt the flow that is destined to reach you. So, close your eyes for a moment and declare, I speak to my soul and it guides me. I am worthy of abundance. I trust the flow of life. And from this day forward, I choose to live guided by the voice of my essence. Take a deep breath and feel the difference. This simple act can change everything. And if this message touched you, like this video, subscribe to the channel and share it with someone who needs to hear these words. Write in the comments, have you ever tried talking to your soul about money? What did you feel? Share your experience, because it can illuminate the path of many others. Life is abundant, the universe is generous, and your soul already knows the way. Trust it.